Atwood's 21st century appropriation of a Tempest is built from a performative mode foregrounded in Shakespeare's seminal text, continuing the conversation of how life is a performance. The result for recontextualization of a main character from magician to stage director significantly reflects the process of reimagining and reframing, as it underscores the ways forms blend and clash to reveal resonances and dissonances. The transposition of these shared artistic ideals re-examines the constructedness of literary works, alluding to the significance of adaptation. Atwood reimagines the protagonist's metaphoric imprisonment through a psychoanalytic lens that leverages the performative mode to reveal the multiplicity of roles individuals perform. The Elizabethans abhorred emotional entrapment, instead they valued moderation and reason. This is demonstrated in The Tempest, in Prospero's authority and the theatrical direction of his enemies, revealed via metaphoric imagery. Mine enemies are all knit up in their distraction. They are now in my power. This conjures an image of Prospero consciously constructing the events of a play. However, this pursuit of magical power, love of learning, was what led to Prospero's self-imposed exile to the island. Neglecting worldly ends, he awakened an evil nature in Antonia. Thus, the island is symbolically associated with Prospero's willful isolation. This is acknowledged through a shift in diction when speaking in blank prose. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine. Blank prose is a subversion of speech to indicate a degeneration of status. Thus, when Prospero shits on first, it reflects his new role of the Hag-Seed, by likening his diction to Caliban, to acknowledge his subcoming, to the motivation of revenge, which propels his performance. Alternatively, a 21st century appropriation of the Tempest examines the cyclical effects of emotion, making individuals perform through a speculative lens, as Atwood creates a reimagined death of Miranda, which examines the consequence of Prospero losing his daughter. The novel's third-person limited narration illuminates Felix's desire to reincarnate Miranda through a performative lens. Miranda must be released from her coffin, she must be given a life. This conveys that Felix has succumbed to his baseless human emotions, as he blurs the distinction between the real and imagined by hallucinating Miranda. Evident in anaphoric repetition, she remains simple, she remains innocent. Moreover, the narrative's metaphoric language demonstrates Felix's awareness of his role as the hysterical director. Snap out of it, Felix. Pull yourself together. Break out your cell. Following this, Felix is employed at the prison under the name Mr. Duke, revealing how his grief has caused performance. Hence, Atwood reimagines the protagonist's metaphoric prison, employing a performative medium to unveil the roles individuals perform. Prospero undergoes a self-defining path to forgiveness as a result of Christian tenets, which underscores life as a performance. The motif of performance within both texts illuminate divergent paths to freedom from self-imposed prisons. In The Tempest, Ariel incites Prospero's self-defining path to Christian compassion. If you now beheld him, your affections would become tender. Ariel's poignant tone provokes Prospero to witness this cruel theatrical play, stimulating his path to forgiveness. For rarer for action is, in virtue than in vengeance. This epiphany of cruelty alludes to the manifestation of Christ in the book of Matthew. As a result, Prospero forgives his enemies under the guise of Christian values and pledges to renounce his magic, as seen through performative imagery. I'll break my staff, bury it in certain fathoms in the earth. This soliloquy, where Prospero realizes his ill act, creates a theatrical stage where Prospero performs the renunciation of his magic in breaking his staff. This functions to illuminate the theatricality of forgiveness as he renunciates his magic and breaks the fourth wall. Prospero continues his reflexive path to self-forgiveness in the epilogue as Prospero pleads for release from the constructed offence of a play and the island symbolically associated with his willful isolation. This is revealed through the performative nature of the text, as the audience must ensure they are applauding with their good hands at the end of the play, so the audience indulgence can set Prospero free. Thus, Shakespeare reveals a self-defining path for motif of performance. In Hag-Seed, Atwood significantly reflects the recontextualization of characterization to amplify the value of freedom through the cathartic potential of performance through Felix's theatrical immersion in 21st century prison reform. The potential of purgative freedom through theatre, seen through Felix's anaphora. He refused to call them inmates, he refused to call them prisoners, not why they were in his theatre troupe. This illuminates the abstraction of prison roles, as Felix states that his theatre troupe are not prisoners but actors, thus giving the prisoners roles of status as they perform in their lives by choosing to represent themselves in a theatrical light. As a result, the adapted five-part structure reflects Felix's extended journey to catharsis, as Felix's emotional derangement is alleviated through his illusory alias of Mr. Duke. Thus, retelling The Tempest to reincarnate Miranda results in freedom, as explored in the intertextual inclusion of "to the elements be free." This connotes Felix has liberated the illusion of his daughter by giving himself freedom. Hence, Prospero's quest for forgiveness is subverted to depict freedom, significantly reflecting the process of appropriation. Clearly, the intertextual conversation of a performative mode invites audiences to appreciate the significant process of appropriation with a recontextualization of a main character from magician to stage director.